Hello, SUPERFOXXs. So I've dragged myself in from the lovely London sun today to talk to you about change. So change is obviously happening all around the world all the time in politics. And next week we'll hear a government review into MPs' salaries, which has recommended that their salaries could be increased by 10%. MPs are already paid £66,000 every year, and that means that they're all in the top 5% of earners, while the average salary in the UK is £26,000. Well, it's being argued that if you give MPs more money, then they are less likely to have outside jobs, and that then doesn't influence their decision making. And it will also draw a bit of a line under the long-running expenses scandal. But at a time when 144,000 public sector workers have already been put out of work, where wages aren't increasing as quickly as prices, and welfare cuts mean, amongst many other things, that people who've been made redundant will have to wait another week, from 4 weeks to 5 weeks, to be able to sign on for job seekers allowance. Owen Jones, an incredible thinker on the left, and a young guy as well, was talking about cuts this week on the Daily Politics show with an MP from Rochdale, a Labour MP, and he challenged him as to why Labour and the opposition aren't actually opposing this cuts agenda. And it's people like that, people like Owen Jones, and people, whistleblowers, people like Ed Snowden, who put their hands up against the status quo and say, I want things to be different. Ed Snowden has now been offered sanctuary in Nicaragua and Venezuela, having blown the whistle on US spying tactics and mass surveillance of its own citizens and people all around the world. Another campaign that's really fascinating is No More Page 3. So they've won a small victory from the Sun. They've now taken the little logo off in the corner of the newspaper, News in Briefs, which is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek analysis of the news by the young lady bearing her breasts on the third page of one of our most widely read newspapers. Well, a small victory. It's momentum. It's incredible. They've now got the backing of Lush Cosmetics, so the ethical beauty store, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Another campaign by UK feminist and Object is now asking Tesco to remove lads mags from supermarket shelves, and it's all that momentum building. People seeing things that they want to be different and going ahead and demanding that they change. I was in a very strange situation where I stuck out like a sore thumb this week. I was at a book launch for a biography of Tony Blair, and in a room full of older white men, you can bet I stuck out. I put to them that the years of Tony Blair haven't made our streets safer, and put forward my alternative, what I want to see that's different in the world. And those people have had 2,000 years to get their argument straight. They've got years of history on their side, and they've got all the power, and they're unlikely to give it up without some kind of fight. But that's what I think all the time of being involved in politics. What kind of a world do I want to see, and what kind of world do I want to create? And it's people like Ed Snowden, it's people like Owen Jones, and it's people like the ladies at No More Page 3, at UK Feminista and Object, who look at the world and think, you know what, I want this to be different, and they go out and get it. And that's why I love being involved with politics. You've got to be the change that you want to see in the world.